What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, wherever you are and whatever time it is. Welcome back to another video with your man, Majaholic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 8 of my Total War Rome 2 campaign using the Divide at Impera mod, playing as the Cimbri. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a very hectic episode. We're going to have a lot of things happen, so I really recommend you watch until the end, as there will be something very interesting happening later on. I'm not going to give it away just yet, but just stick around and watch and you shall see. But anyway, in our last episode we had a major victory in taking Arretium north of Rome, and the main reason this was such a big deal is because it allowed us to get a large population, a lot of manpower to draw infantry and just troops in general from. However, instantly the Romans are coming back with 2 full legions against our garrison, against our Germanic army. We have to defend this. This is going to be a bridge battle, so the map is in my favor, but the enemy has fantastic units and they have a lot of them, so I don't think we're going to be able to hold this, but we're going to do our best. Gun de Salvus, our king, leads the defense of Arretium. This is really an all or nothing thing. If we lose this, then we have no more troops to keep the fight going. Alrighty, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a massive battle. I believe it was another 14 or 15,000 man battle. So there's not going to be too much zoom in. You can see I have my main army down by the bridge, while I have a secondary battle group down by the river crossing. And I also have a full garrison coming as reinforcements in the rear. They're very far away and they're going to be tired by the time we get to the main battle, but they're going to have some time to rest up, thankfully. And the Romans are going to focus the entirety of their forces on taking the bridge. I'm not sure why they didn't engage me in the river crossing at all, but I'm going to take it and be happy with it. It allows me to focus my troops. The Romans initially sent their cavalry forward. Not a bad strategy. It's what I've done before when I tried to take crossings. However, they didn't follow up with infantry support, and I have a lot of archers and skirmishers. I'm going to cut them down very quickly. You can see the hundreds of arrows flying in and just decimating them. So the enemy lose most of their cavalry almost instantly in the fight, and we're going to come in with some more arrows, and I'm actually going to charge them with my own cavalry as well. So there goes most of their cav. A few minutes later, my garrison troops are reinforcing, while keep in mind the Romans are also being reinforced by their 2nd legion, which is why they're not in a rush to attack. Diverting troops from my river crossing battle group to the main battle line at the bridge here, and then shortly after that the Romans begin to pour across the bridge in massive numbers. Now I tried to give them a little bit of room to get off the bridge, so I'd be fighting them in theory at a 3-to-1 advantage, because we should have 3 units surrounding their 1 or 2 units that were at the front. However, I might have given them a little bit too much room initially, but it is going to allow my skirmishers and all my other melee units who have javelins to absolutely pummel the enemy heavy units. So it is going to work out initially. However, they do have a lot of room to start grinding, and they're going to start pushing out very, very quickly. They have some very heavy units that can literally just push my troops back without even having to kill them. To try and stop this, I'm going to commit my 2nd line of axemen pretty much immediately after, though. I'm trying to snipe the enemy general here. I ended up killing him at some point in the battle. However, because so many of the Roman troops are disciplined, it didn't matter. And so the morale stays excellent for the majority of the battle. However, here I realized during the battle that finally they're not actually attacking the river crossing, so I'm going to send that whole battle group across to try and come flank. And I'm going to be really trying to rush them into fighting. They didn't get to rest. They do have a lot of javelins though, so that's going to help us. I also have some cavalry. However, the Romans realize that we're outflanking them very quickly, and they start to divert troops to stop us from getting across the bridge and hitting them in the rear. I do get some nice charges with all my axemen and my cavalry on the enemy units that do come back across the bridge. However, we're just not killing them quick enough. The Romans are just way too disciplined and way too heavily armored to die quickly. Romans and dying quickly just doesn't mix in most situations, and so that's what is going to be our biggest issue here. We are killing one of the enemy generals, however, so that's going to be helpful, but you can see the enemy units aren't wavering at all. My units are starting to rout, not en masse, but the less disciplined troops are routing. The enemy heavy Triarii I hear pushing through my troops. Like I said, they're pushing them, they're not even killing them. They're just pushing them out of the way because they're that heavy and that disciplined. They can do it. I apologize for the lag in this section of the battle. There's even some audio lag that I can hear. It was just due to so many soldiers being present. The engine just can't handle that many animations happening at once. Despite my FPS itself actually being really good. I'm trying to outflank the enemy on the far side of the bridge. However, you can still see more of my units are wavering. I'm trying to keep my general close to give morale support, but it's just not enough right now. My troops are starting to rout, and they're starting to outflank us along the riverbank. I send in my general for a rear charge on the units on the riverbank. However, something happened, and we get a mass rout across our entire army. I don't know what it was. Our general didn't die, but I guess it was just the discipline of our troops just absolutely smashed all at once. I couldn't believe it. You could see there I was just trying to get a cinematic shot, but out of nowhere, our entire army routs. Here are these statistics if you'd like to see. You can see we had massive amounts of troops involved, over 14,000 troops combined going against each other. The main thing I want you to take away from this screen though is look at all the Roman troops and how many of their Principe heavy units survived. The Romans are just too bloody good to take on. We just can't deal with it. Even though we killed their generals, it still didn't matter. Very few of their units routed. The ones that did got away because they couldn't catch them. Their units are very well experienced, especially the skirmishers. They're insanely veteranized. And for the few troops that we did kill, we lose most of our army. About, I would say 2/3, maybe a little bit under that. So that's pretty rough. And then the second legion of the Romans here comes and kills our king, Gundisalvus. Our king has fallen. I thought I debated fighting it manually for a while. I actually cut out quite a few minutes of me debating it. But in the end, I knew I couldn't win the battle. The enemy heavy units are just way too freaking good. I can't kill them. Even with my skirmishers pummeling them, it just wasn't good enough. And so I let the auto-resolve take out King Gundi. And he's gone with a noble death. He died on the battlefield. There's a beautiful funeral for him, even though we probably didn't get to recover the body. But maybe the Romans allowed it. This, to me, signals the end of our campaign, to be honest. There's not much more we can do. We're going to lose Arretium. That means we lose the population there. Rome has, like, barely 1,000 civilians, so we can't recruit from there. Things are looking very, very bleak for this campaign. I then spent the next about 50 turns or so just recruiting my army in Rome. I have a full stack down by Rome, so I'm just recruiting specific troops that I want. And I waited about 50 turns or so for the Romans to attack. However, they never did, which is really weird because I was clearly gone. We were out of the campaign at this point. It was over. You could see this is our population after several turns after that loss. I don't know why they didn't attack, but either way, this campaign is basically done. And so what I did is I went into custom battles and I tried to recreate the last stand for the Cimbri in Rome that I felt like would have happened if the AI wasn't being weird. So here it is. The last stand of the Cimbri. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I wanted you to see throughout this episode, is that this will be the finale of the Cimbrian Let's Play on this channel. At least this Cimbrian Let's Play. We might do another one in the far future, but I'm not in a rush. I really enjoyed this Let's Play. We accomplished what I wanted to, which was getting to Rome and occupying it itself. We did what the real-life Cimbrian migration failed to do, which was taking Rome. Unfortunately, we didn't get to recreate too much of their actual travels going through different parts of Europe, but that's okay. That's Total War. Total War is not supposed to be exactly historical. It's supposed to give you the chance to do ahistorical things, right? So that's okay. I'm just showing you guys here the army setup that I have. I tried to recreate it in a manner that would be very reminiscent of what would have happened in the campaign had I not had to do this in a custom battle. Because I gave it so many turns after the fall of Arretium there, the Romans were actually using Marian troops, so we're going to be facing off against legionnaires in this battle. They have a lot of siege equipment. I gave them 1 unit of ballista to pound us. Yeah, that's pretty much done. We are going to enjoy this really awesome final last stand, though. This is what should have happened in the campaign, but like I said, the AI was just being very wonky and refused to attack us, so here we are defending Rome. We're going to open up with a volley of arrows, as always. Throughout this entire campaign, our archers have been just absolutely fantastic, and even though the Romans are very heavily armored, we're still going to at least annoy them and whittle them down a little bit with our archers. But they're committing their entire army across the river here. I'm going to be sending out a unit of berserkers to try and slow them down, which is really cool because we didn't get to see these berserkers in the campaign itself. Unfortunately, them having literally no armor, they don't even have clothes on, they're going to get obliterated by the enemy javelins. They will get a decent charge and kill a few of the Roman legionaries, but just nowhere near enough to where it's going to have a decent impact. There's just too many Romans here involved. In addition to the Roman legion we have coming and attacking Rome here, I actually gave them Massalian reinforcements as well, because there were so many Massalians in Italy in the campaign, and they threatened Rome constantly. I had 2 full Massalian armies outside for like 10 turns. They refused to attack the city, but the Massalians have been a constant thorn in our side throughout this whole campaign, so I thought I would let them come in as a support force. But here are the Romans getting over our walls now. We have archers and some basic axemen trying to defend the walls. Like I said, I wanted to recreate the army that I had on the campaign in this custom battle, so our units are clearly not going to be very good quality. I did give my units here a lot of veteran status though. Maybe a little bit too much, but I was training my troops to be very well trained in the campaign, so I figured I'd try to give my troops somewhat of a chance here, but we are facing off against legionaries. We lose the wall very quickly. It took only a couple minutes, and then the Romans are going to start pushing down and attacking our second line of defenses here. We have some fireballs throughout the city. They're going to be very awkward to use because there's almost no hills in the city map, which is funny because I think in real life Rome has quite a few hills, but anyway, there's like 1 hill in the whole city. In the in-game map, I should say, in-game battle map, but that's okay. We are falling back to our second line now. Here's a bit of a tactical overview for you. The Romans and the Massalians are flooding in through the main gate here in the southwest corner of the city. We've given it up completely. We're now just holding them at a second choke point. We have a smaller initial choke point with some fireballs on its own, and then here's our general retreating. He's going to be retreating to our third line of defenses against the western gate and the center plaza. And then further to the northeast, we have our veteran swordsmen holding to prepare for our last stand, last-ditch attempt at freedom from the Romans. Here we go, sending out the fireballs. They are going to be a little bit awkward because, like I said, there's almost no hills on this battle map, but they will get slightly involved. They'll kill a few Romans, and killing any is better than none. It is a little bit awkward, but that's okay. It's very nice to look at. I love the effects of the fireballs. I hope to use them more in future campaigns. I was hoping to use them a bit more in this one, since we were ambushing style faction, but unfortunately we didn't get to as much. Javelins are coming in, slaughtering the legionnaires. They're going to lose a fair few of their legions, but not as many as you would think, to be honest. Here on the northwest approach to the center plaza, the enemy is starting to outflank our main corridor here. Thankfully, I already had a unit up here on the northwestern gate. I should just say western gate. That was ready to defend against a flank like this, so we are going to engage them and do pretty well. Most of my X-Men are armor penetrating, so they will do decent on a charge, and they will kill a few Romans. Especially a unit of Romans like this, which I believe is the volunteer unit of Romans, not even their proper legionary one. However, here at the third line, or the third choke point, The enemy is outflanking us already. We had the south side of the city pretty much open. I didn't have enough troops to hold it, and so the enemy is making me pay for it, I should say, by sending their light troops around to flank us from the south. And so they're just going to run over my skirmishers very easily there. Here back on the western gate, though, we're trying to kill the enemy's general. He's leading a Praetorian Guard unit of legionnaires. Extremely heavy, extremely well skilled and well disciplined. So I'm going to be using my axemen to draw him out. And then I send in a volley of javelins, and then I send in a charge from my veteran swordsman general. This is general on general action right here. We have excellent charging units here. Their armor penetration isn't fantastic, but it should be good enough. We should kill quite a few of his units, of his men, I should say, of his unit. He does have more troops coming up to reinforce, so again, we're just not going to be able to kill them quick enough. Killing Romans quickly is just so impossible when it comes to land battles. It's insane. Unless you're Carthaginian and you have elephants and cavalry. But here playing as a Cimbri, it's just a real struggle to kill Romans. We can hold them, but we can't kill them. And if we can't kill them, then what's the point? Here they are. The Romans already broke through that other checkpoint I mentioned earlier. And so my general's got to fall back already and disengage from fighting the enemy general. Way back towards the center of this all, the enemy is sending in cavalry charges against us to outflank our main veteran swordsman force. Fireballs actually do really well here, and this veteran swordsman unit is going to do really well against this cavalry unit, and it's got to hold our flank nicely here on the northern side of the central plaza. The Romans, I should say, not the Cimbri, send their cavalry forward, so it's going to disrupt our charges, and it's going to make these fireballs really ineffective because I can't send it in against their blobs of infantry. It does kill a couple of their units, but it's just nowhere near what it should have been. And so here we are defending the victory point in the absolute center of Rome itself. I have my veteran swordsmen surrounding the troops, the Roman troops, as they come pouring into our plaza here. The cavalry, like I said, is going to disrupt our charges, and it's going to be really annoying, but we are going to get some decent charges around the other side of the troops. You can see some Praetorians mixed in the fighting there. The enemy general is leading from the front, which is unique for a Roman, so kudos to him. The fighting is absolutely savage and brutal here. It's really quite fun to watch. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I am using a reshade. I know I had somebody recently ask in the comments what other graphic mods I was using. I do have a reshade that I'm using, so I'll try to remember to include that in my mod list down below. But yeah, the fighting here is just bloody, brutal, and it's going nowhere for us, to be honest. We are getting some ground against the enemy, like right here, my veteran swordsmen are charging a volunteer legionnaire unit. The volunteers just don't have the armor that the regular legionnaires do, nor the morale. So we are actually going to do a lot of damage against this unit, and I think we actually even cut through it. If not, we were very close to cutting through it. My veteran swordsmen are excellent, but they basically, I need an entire army full of them to do a lot of damage. So we have one last ditch attempt here where I pulled back all my veteran swordsmen, and then I charged in with my general, and then had all my veteran swordsmen charging once again. Kind of like to pull the Romans out of their formation and then just go in for one last final charge across the board. But again, the cavalry are disrupting our charges. The Massalians have their hoplites here on the front line. They're pushing my troops back. Even my general's getting pushed back by them. The Massalians are very well disciplined and well armored as well, so we're not going to be killing those quickly either. For the most part, they did have some lighter troops and Gauls that they brought with them to take Rome. Here you can see the UI turned on to get a little bit better of an idea on what's happening. Basically, the Romans and the Massalians combined their troops into a massive blob, and they charged down our center straight into the victory point itself. They did have some flanking units. On the right-hand side, you can see my veteran swordsmen are engaging their volunteer legionnaires, but it's just not good enough. And out of nowhere, we get a massive mass rout across the battlefield. Again, 2 mass routs, and we lose the campaign. We lose Rome. It's all over. That's it. It's done. Here are the statistics if you want to see from the custom battle what happened. But I think the stats here really show why I'm kind of giving up on this campaign now. The Romans are just too good. We can't beat them. Maybe if I was a bit quicker on getting to Rome, maybe if the campaign difficulty wasn't set to hard, so I didn't have AI like very far away from me coming down and hunting me down Liam Neeson style, like the Averni, the Massalians. When you change the difficulty, the AI just does some really strange things. But basically, the Romans are just too good, and we just don't have the right troops, nor do we have the number of troops available to us. We literally don't have the population to continue fighting Rome, and so I am giving up on the Cimbri. I hope you guys enjoyed the campaign a lot. I really, really loved playing it. It was a lot of fun. And so it's with a heavy heart we got to say goodbye to the Cimbri, but we do have the Spartan campaign getting into full swing. I'm hopefully going to have some more videos coming out this week of it. If you have any other Total War games or campaign ideas that you would like to have alongside the Spartan one, let me know down in the comments below. I'm open to any historical Total War. I have pretty much all the historical ones. I'm not interested in the newer fantasy-based ones like Warhammer and that. But if you have any suggestions or it's something you'd like to see, feel free to drop it down below and I'll see what I can do. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys truly enjoyed. I really do. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one.